What's up, everybody? Checking out the price of XRP. The market cap is at $142 billion. Now, I know some people don't really care about the market cap that much, and there is a debate out there in terms of does it really mean a whole lot when it comes to the reflection of the price, because, you have some people say, yeah, I think XRP can hit $1,000. And then the other guy says, how is that possible? The market cap would have to be $20 trillion. That would be more than the national debt back in 2015. So, and they're both valid points, right? So look at this. No, not that. This one here. So here is how XRP will reach $10,000 per coin. There's a lot of people who believe that. I'm open to it. I'll tell you what I think later
Global
on.
Economy
But
worth
listen to
one
this.
Most people think XRP can't hit $10,000 because of market cap. Market cap doesn't apply to XRP the way you think. It's built for high-speed transactions, settling in 3 to 5 seconds. This means the same XRP can be reused up to 50 times per day. Moving $1 trillion daily needs just $20 billion in liquidity, not $1 trillion.
So that's a really good point, and I will explain that a little bit later on.
Now, picture a tokenized global economy worth $1 to $2 quadrillion. If XRP handles just 10%, that's trillions in daily settlements. To support this, XRP's price must reach $10,000 or more. Here's another factor. XRP's circulating supply is limited to 53 billion tokens. For global liquidity,
well, right now it is, but eventually it'll be 100 billion. That's going to be, I think, in like 5 to 7 years.
Enough to handle massive volumes. With institutions, CBDCs, and governments adopting XRP, demand will only grow. Here's why market cap doesn't matter. XRP's value isn't speculation, it's utility. It facilitates massive global transactions efficiently. The price must reflect this demand, not an arbitrary market cap calculation. The future is tokenized, and XRP is built for the next era of finance. Think XRP can hit $10,000? Drop XRP
so there
below.
You go. If we look at the price, the market cap is $142 billion. And the assumption is, well, if we're going to hit, $10 or $20, then the market cap has to go higher, right? Can the market cap stay the same and the price itself go higher? I don't know. I've never seen that in my life. So, or is that even the argument that they're trying to make? But for me, the way you can get to these ridiculous high numbers is through tokenization, right? And Larry Fink wants to do that. He spoke about that. He said it right here.
We believe the next step going forward will be the tokenization of financial assets. And that means every stock, every bond will have its own, basically, CUSIP. It'll be on one general ledger. Every investor, you and I, will have our own number, our own identification. We could rid ourselves of all issues around illicit activities around bonds and stocks and digital by having a tokenization. But the most importantly thing, we could customize strategies through tokenization.
So there you go. Basically, taking the entire stock market, which, by the way, is a massive amount of money, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But let's say you want to get to $1,000 XRP. Well, if you take a Fibonacci retracement here and you go up to $1,000, that will give us a Fibonacci extension to $20 trillion. Okay, guys? So if you want to hit $1,000 XRP, you're going to need a $20 trillion market cap. Or at least that's the argument that the market cap guys would make. So basically, the question is, well, is it possible for XRP to hit a $20 trillion market cap? Well, according to Larry Fink, it totally is. Why is that? Because if you look at the stock market as a whole, and if you tokenize just the stock market, we're not even talking about what Ripple is doing behind the scenes as far as, different payment rails, different things like that, or even talking about the derivatives, or even the bond market. That's a whole nother animal, right? So you got stocks, tokenization, you got bonds, right? which is even way bigger. And then you have derivatives, which is even way bigger than that. And then you have other things like these Nostro, Vostro, whatever accounts that have a lot of money in there. You're basically trying to free up a lot of that liquidity so that it can move around much more freely, right? So it's kind of like getting heart surgery or something. You put a stent in your heart. Basically, you need to put XRP as the stent so that it can open up those arteries so that a lot more blood can flow through. And that's tokenization, right? So a $1,000 XRP would equate to about a $20 trillion market cap. Now the market cap guys will say, "Oh, that's impossible. That would be higher than the highest debt that would be essentially the highest back when our debt was $20 trillion. Now it's like what, over 35 trillion or something. So basically it's pretty much impossible. However, if you take a look at the stock market, you can see right here the entire stock market is about $62 trillion, guys, right? And then there's other things that could say maybe it's up to 109 trillion, but it's somewhere around that ballpark, okay? So, the market cap guys and the people who say it doesn't really matter, there's kind of like a fine line in between, I think, because there's both good points. But, in order to... Now, let's look at the price of XRP real quick. All right. Now, in order to get to $1,000, you could see here's the price of XRP, right? Now, here's $1,000 right there. So, they're even saying like $10,000, which would be like the 3.272. That's somewhere up almost 12,000. This is the Binance chart, so it's going to be a little bit more overvalued compared to the actual data. Yeah. So, in order to get to $1,000 for XRP, there's a few things that need to happen. Number one, the tokenization of stocks, bonds, derivatives, things like that. If you look at the entire bond market cap, it's $140 trillion. Okay, so if you look at the stock market, that's 60 to 100 trillion. And then you have bonds, which is 140. So you're looking at $250 trillion just in bonds and stocks. Right? So you're looking at $250 billion just in bonds and stocks. Okay? So if XRP wanted to hit $1,000, you would need a $20 trillion market cap. But again, the market cap guys say, "Oh, it's impossible. The market cap would have to be $20 trillion. Yeah, that's true. However, the other side will say, "No, it doesn't need to be because that market cap doesn't mean anything." Well, here's the thing, right? If you can tokenize the bond market, right? So 250 trillion. All right. So what's 20 trillion of 250 trillion? That would be 8%. So if you take so basically, guys, think about this for a minute here. If you look at, this is some real stuff right here. If you look at the entire bond market and the stock market, it's about $250 trillion. I'm not even talking about the payments, the on-demand liquidity stuff. I'm not talking about all the other stuff Ripple is doing with their banks and their partners and things like that. That's not even counting that. I'm not even talking about the derivatives. The derivatives is a whole nother animal. I'm just talking about the bond market and the stock market and tokenizing it so that it could be traded much more cleanly, right? As Larry Fink, basically the CEO of BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world, stated, right? So if XRP can hit $1,000, which I used to think, it's a big long shot, but it's actually very possible, all right? And coming from a very conservative guy like me, that says a lot. It's very possible, okay? Because all you would need to get to $1,000 XRP is a $20 trillion market cap. Now, you could say that's insane, that's ridiculous. However, we don't really understand the concepts of market cap and how big it actually is when you compile everything together. So if we go back to the price or the market cap of XRP here, right, and we look here, and we go up to the 2618, that's $20 trillion market cap, right? Okay, so we go back to XRP versus USD, and I'm actually going to do this on the Binance or on the Bitstamp chart so I can have a much more, or actually, I'm just going to use the Binance chart. It's fine. So you could see the 2618 comes in at $1,000 XRP for a $20 trillion market cap. All right, so here's the thing. If XRP, which by the way is one of the best blockchains in the world, right? The XRP ledger. It can't be done on Bitcoin. It would, Bitcoin can only handle 7 transactions per second. It can't be Ethereum because Ethereum's only like 20, 30 transactions per second, and you would eat up so much gas fees. Imagine sending $200 billion. I mean, you would have to pay like $100 billion just in gas fees. Nobody's going to do it. And then what would be the next one? It would be XRP Ripple. Who's the number one American blockchain company in the world? Ripple. Who's the American first president? Trump. And what do you think Trump's going to do as far as positioning companies to take on a major role, such as being an exchange? Because there is an exchange, a decentralized exchange on the XRP ledger already, right? So if XRP, here's the big thing, if XRP Ripple can take only 8% of all the tokenized stocks and bonds, then you're looking at $1,000 XRP easy, okay? So there you go. I mean, it is totally possible for XRP to hit $1,000. It is very possible, right? It only needs 8%. So the big question is, well, how is that going to happen? When is that going to happen? Is that going to happen? I believe it will happen. I believe Trump understands that our financial system is very corrupt. He understands it needs to be completely changed, right? And you have the central banks, the Federal Reserve, the CBDC, right? They want to take over our financial system. And then you have Trump, who really hasn't given you any indications of what he wanted, but we kind of know based off a lot of things, right? Like what his sons are investing in, what he talks about, right? Crypto, hand him a little crypto check to pay off the national debt, jokingly. And then also gold, right? So you have crypto and gold and Trump and the new financial system versus the deep state, the central bank, and the CBDC tyrannical financial system. And these two financial systems are going to go head to head. Which one's going to win? Because the current financial system that we live in today doesn't work. Why? Because it's a fiat system that was designed to steal away your purchasing power over time, right? So, and basically inflation and the national debt is just wiping everything out. It really degrades the economy. So in order to fix this, we need to transition away from that system and go to a more decentralized, more open source, crypto, blockchain, right, AI-driven system. That way it can reduce the friction in the banking system. It takes away the clunkiness. It basically puts an end to all the fraud in the SWIFT system, because that's what it's about, is the SWIFT banking system. So that's another thing too. So if Ripple takes 8% of all the tokenized bonds and stocks, just 8%, you're already at $1,000 XRP. Now imagine just hitting 1% of that. I mean, come on, the number one crypto ledger in the United States is the XRP ledger. And you're saying that it can't even be possible for it to do just 1% of all the bonds and stocks? I think that's bullcrap. I think it could do more than 8%. I think it could do maybe even 20 or 25%, right? Which gets into some insane numbers. But at the end of the day, it doesn't even have to do 20 or 25% because you have a whole nother world, which is what? Well, you have the derivatives. And the derivatives are in the multi-hundreds of trillions of dollars. And derivatives will also be tokenized, and that'll be a massive thing, right? So yes, in essence, market cap really doesn't matter in some instances, especially when you factor in all these different moving parts. But it still has a as the market sits right now, it's still very important that we pay attention to the market cap. But to say that it can't hit $1,000 because of the market cap, right? I used to think that way in some terms, but I knew that if Ripple could strike a deal with whoever, a major bank, I mean, they've already been doing that, but let's say even a government contract, or, to handle payment rails for this sector or whatever, it could be some big money circulating through the veins of the ledger, and in turn burning gas, right, which is XRP, because XRP is the native token of the XRP ledger. So if you're going to have, Walmart exchanging with Amazon, exchanging with this, exchanging to a bond, right? And then eventually you'll be able to do atomic swaps for a bond to a stock, right? Because you could trade bonds, you could trade stocks, but why not trade them together, right? Or against each other. That'll be very interesting as well. So can XRP hit $1,000? I think it's totally possible. Now, again, we're going to get into when and how and things like that. I don't think it's going to be this cycle. Maybe not even next cycle. It's going to take, a long time. It might take a decade. I don't know. But we're talking $1,000 here. I mean, that's a lot of money. Now, the first step, obviously, is going into price discovery and seeing how it holds up, because I want to see exactly when we break out of here, because remember, we're at a very pivotal point in here, right? So when this is a 7-year resistance line. Remember, we've been building a base for the last 7 years, the biggest base in crypto history. The bigger the base, the higher in space. We're going sideways for all of this time. It's extremely bullish because it's setting up a platform so that we can build upon it, right? So we don't know how the price will react once it breaks into price discovery. For all we know, it could shoot up to $100 almost immediately. We don't know, right? Now, there has to be some type of excuse or some type of event or some reasoning behind that big jump, which I don't think is going to be, a big thing. But what I'm saying is, we can easily break out into $7, $8, $9, $10, right? So what I'm going to be looking for is how the price reacts when it's in price discovery, right? So let's say we have, for example, 1, 2, and then this is 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we have a 5-wave move up. And you could say 1, 2, all of that's 3. We flag out for a 4, and then we go up into a 5. Okay, my question is then, well, how shallow is the wave 4? How impulsive are we? How strong are we? Because you can tell when the price is weak and when the price is strong, right? Right now, the price is really strong. So how is it going to be once we're in price discovery? Basically, how resilient is it going to be once we have the 5 waves? So let's say we hit 10, 15 bucks, the bear market is here, and then we start going down. Well, how does the bear market act? Does it act really, really bearish? Does it just fall through the floor? Or is it very corrective? For example, look at the big base here. Look how massive it is, right? So let me put this to the weekly. Here we go. And then you put 2 lines here, right? So you break out. Notice we were going sideways. We broke out, and once we broke out, we never ever came back to retest this area way down here. Instead, the price went sideways very bullishly. We had a nice A, B, C pattern here, or even A, B, C, D, E, a triangle, whatever, right? And then we break out, okay? So once we break out, how do we have to come all the way back down and back test? That's going to show maybe a little bit of weakness. But if we hold very strongly and bounce off of that, maybe not, right? So the reason why it took 7 years, obviously the SEC and stuff like that, but actually that time is not wasted, okay? So that people say, oh, XRP wasted 7 years, for doing nothing. Well, no, that time is not wasted. That time is invested. People don't realize all of this time down here is invested. The reason why is because when we break out, and if we have to come back down into a bear market, you always want to think long term. Everybody thinks of the next move. But what about the next 3 moves? What about the next 5 moves? How's that going to look, right? So if we break out and we come back down, well, now we're going to hold support in here. You know why we're going to hold support? Because we have a massive base to hold support. This is a 7-year support system, right? The concrete has been setting for 7 years. It's freaking hard. It's I don't know what else to say, but essentially when we do come back and retest it, it's going to be very strong. And that's time invested, right? So yes, if XRP has 8% of all the bonds and stuff like that, very possible. Now, if you look at all the derivatives, that's even bigger. That's like $700 trillion, right? So you're looking at around a quadrillion dollars, guys. When you add the bonds, the stocks, the derivatives, right? And all of this stuff eventually will be tokenized because it's much easier to converse, right? If somebody wants to trade, what a derivative really is. So if you look at how derivatives are traded, most derivatives are traded over the counter, right? On a bilateral basis between two counterparties, such as bank, asset managers, blah, blah, blah. But if you can take the derivatives and tokenize them, then I can trade them with you. You can trade them with someone in China. They can trade it with someone in Brazil, right? It's very easy to trade, just like how we trade crypto. And then you do that with bonds and stocks. You're looking at $1 quadrillion, guys. We think the crypto market is ridiculous, and it's not even at a $5 trillion market cap. Remember, Brad Garlinghouse predicted a $5 trillion market cap by the end of the year. Well, we missed it a little bit, but I think we're still on our way. All right, so just $5 trillion just for the whole crypto space. So here's the big thing. So in order to get $1,000 XRP, all XRP and Ripple needs to do, remember, they're the largest American fintech company in the world. They're the fastest ledger in the world, and they have stood the test of time. Their ledger has been out since 2013. They've been around a long time. They are tested and tested and tested, and they have never failed, right? And they have been with a lawsuit. So basically the SEC flipped Ripple upside down, shook their pockets out, right, and searched them. They are the most vetted blockchain company in the world, right? So they are squeaky clean. So if anybody can assume a role, right, that's why I think the lawsuit was to see, to basically prove to the world that they're clean, right? Because when you have a major company taking over a role, doing something major, there might be some trust issues. But if you sue that company and make the government go look at all their records, all their financial documents, and then it shows that they did nothing wrong, then it proves to the world that they are worthy of the position they're about to assume, potentially, right? Remember, nothing I say here is financial advice. I could be totally dead wrong. So it's not financial advice. These are just my opinions. Remember that. So you take Ripple, one of the, again, best blockchain in the world, or definitely in the United States, and you look at all the bonds, all the derivatives, all that stuff, and you say, okay, take the bonds, take the derivatives, and take the stocks. And all Ripple needs to do is take only 2% of that, guys. 2%. Just take 2% of all the tokenized assets and trade it on the ledger. What do you think the price will be? It will be $1,000. Okay? So, again, 2% of all the stocks, right? All the stocks, all the derivatives, right? I'll just put D. and I'll just put div, okay? And then you have all the bonds, right? So if you group all of those together, that's a quadrillion dollars, okay? And if you take 2% of a quad, that's 20 trillion. And if you take a $20 trillion market cap, that's $1,000 XRP. So don't tell me it's not it's possible, but it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a long. And here's the thing. What do we need? What do we need? What do we need? Regulations. This would have never been possible if Kamala would have won. That's why I talked about Trump almost all the time leading up to the election, because it was important that he would win so that we would get these regulations. So now that Trump is here, look what Trump's sons are doing, right? Don and Eric. I mean, go to Twitter and look at who they follow, okay? Don Jr. is following Ripple, all right? Not only that, but Brad Garlinghouse and Trump already met. I mean, they've talked. They had dinner together. So I wonder what they talked about, right? You have American First, President of the United States, sitting down having dinner with the largest American fintech company in the world, Ripple, and discussing the financial system, right? And how it can be improved with regulations and things like that. So if any coin can do it, it's Ripple or it's XRP. But then you don't even take that aspect. Now that's just 2%, guys. Remember that, 2%. All right. So if we wanted to go 4%, that would put us at probably $2,000 XRP. I would assume right around there. But let's not even count that. Now let's go back to the basics of what Ripple is here to do, which is on-demand liquidity. Remember, Brad Garlinghouse compares Ripple to Amazon. Amazon is to books as Ripple is to payments. Amazon started off doing books, but now they do a million other things. Ripple started off doing payments. Now they want to eventually do a million other things, right? They want to put a dent in the universe. That's what they said, not me. So another thing is the XRP ledger, right? So we need all the money on the XRP ledger. Just kidding, not all the money. But what we really want is RLUSD, which is Ripple's stablecoin. And that is being traded on the XRP ledger. So all of that money, all of the volume, right, is now being on the XRP ledger. And when you transact with RLUSD, you have to use XRP as gas. Now, it's not as freaking Ethereum gas, which is a ripoff. That's why it's never going to work, right? But we still need to be bullish on Ethereum. We need Ethereum to go into price discovery if we really want to kick off this bull run, because there's so many projects tied to Ethereum. And then the next bear market, they can cut the fat off, right? But essentially, the Ripple stablecoin, RLUSD, is going to have a significant impact on the price of XRP, in my opinion, as we get bigger and bigger and bigger, because there's going to be a lot of volume, being much more volume on the XRP ledger, right? And then also cross chains and things like that. So I'm not a techie guy. I don't know all the ins and outs. I'm not no David Schwartz, but I would love to ask David Schwartz what he thinks about MarketCap and how that reflects the price, and does it mean anything? Because again, you have one guy who says, yeah, the market cap doesn't mean anything for XRP, and then you have the other guy who says, yes, it totally does. I am somewhere in the middle of that, to be honest. I do think market cap means something, but I also believe that, it's very obtainable to get to a high valuation in terms of market cap. Because again, to move $1 trillion, right, you would probably only need, what did they say, $20 billion or something like that. So it's a fraction, right? So if you take the entire market cap, it's just a fraction of what the real value could be. So anyways, that's my market cap sort of trying to compile it all together rant. So, $1,000 is very obtainable. Now, If $1,000 is obtainable with only 2%, then we could start talking, well, what about just only $100, guys? Or even $50. I mean, $50 would be life-changing for so many people, right? Or $100 would be even more insane. So let's explore that, because before you get to 1,000, you got to get to a 50 and 100, right? That's shooting for the moon. And even people say, oh, $10,000. Now, 10,000 is on a whole nother level, right? And is $10,000 possible, in my opinion? Yeah, but it's going to take so much, right? And it's going to take a long time. And that's why I have a hodl position in my XRP that I'm never selling. Because if we ever get to that valuation, then, hey, I'll have a lot, I'll reap the reward, right? So you don't want to sell too early, so I have a bag to sell early. I have a bag to dollar cost average. I got a bag to, for retirement and, things like that. You want to diversify your XRP based on how you want to use it and how it should benefit, and it will change your life, right? So if we wanted to get to $100, we'll say $50 to $100 XRP. Let's go to the fib levels. All right, and we'll put it right there. And I don't know if I even have a fib level that is close to $100. Yeah, I do. So I have a 109. All right, that's perfect. So we're looking at, so I added the 1866, and that's $73. So we're going to look at the 886 up to the 2. All right. So that's what we want. All right. So from a percentage perspective, because I just basically explained how it's possible we can hit $1,000 XRP. No problem. Right. And let me just say, we will tokenize stocks. We will tokenize bonds. We will tokenize derivatives. It's going to happen. It's only a matter of time. It will 100% happen. Now, the question is, will they be tokenized using the XRP ledger? That's a whole nother debate. I believe, yes, a percentage of that will be. Okay? So, because what's good for the goose is good for the gander, as they say, right? So if you're going to tokenize anything involving stocks and bonds, it's going to indirectly support and help crypto, because what it's going to do, it's going to validate what tokenization is all about. And the guys who've been running the block the whole time since 2013, Ripple, right? That's why the Bitcoin community is scared. That's why they went after Ripple. That's why Ethereum teamed up, and that's why they tried to squash it, because they know it's a threat. But now that's why there's so much hate towards XRP, right? That's why the narrative, they hijack the narrative to say that, because it's a real threat, right? You attack those you fear the most. So it's totally possible to hit $1,000 XRP, even much higher than that. Now, do I think it's going to happen today, tomorrow, this year, next year, even 2 years from now, 5 years from? That's the question. How fast is this going to take place? Now that Trump's president, step one, we need regulations. Step two, we need to start implementing and taking all of these assets, because there's a lot of stocks, there's a lot of bonds, there's a lot of derivatives. You take them one by one and you tokenize them, right? So just like what Larry Fink said. So just type in Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, and exactly, the tokenization. So, all right, so $100 XRP. So now we know $1,000 XRP. Let's talk about $100 XRP, right? And, eventually, maybe even $5,000 XRP. But we haven't even got to price discovery. We haven't even got to $4, and we're talking about $1,000. How crazy can you possibly be? How insane are you? Right? I know it's insane. But here's the thing. That's why I don't go down that road. Right? Everybody who knows my channel, I never, ever, ever, ever talk about $1,000 XRP. I don't even talk about $50 XRP. I don't even talk about really $20 XRP. I only talk about what's possible, right? Which is about an $8 to $10 XRP from a technical perspective, from a chart perspective. And that's why a lot of people say, oh, charts aren't going to mean anything, because you're going to have all of these tokenized things come in, and it doesn't reflect that. And in some cases it does. And I'll explain that in another video. But let's focus on $100 XRP. All right, so if we wanted to get there, let's see how much percentage that would be first, and let's see if it's even doable. So if I take it right about there, and I go up to, well, first of all, 1,000% brings us to that $27, $28 XRP. Remember, that's probably, you guys know the log scale 1618, which is $27, $28 XRP. That is like the ultimate grand slam. That is the highest I think XRP can go, is $27, $28. This cycle. That is the highest I think it's possible to go. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. It's probably going to be more like 9, 10, 11, 12 bucks. But if it really wanted to accelerate, it can get up to $27, $28. That's the high end. Now, when you jump up to $50 to $100, that's taking it to a whole nother level. All right. But I am bringing it to $50 to $100. I'm bringing it to that whole other level, but not for this cycle. Maybe this cycle, if we can get some regulations and we can get some tokenized things going on, right? But not even just that. There's so many other things that Ripple is doing, right? Because again, that is just 2% of the stock market and the bond market. But what about Ripple's partnerships? What about the deals that they're doing behind the scenes that we don't even know about? They sign one bank a month or one bank a week. They already have over 100 or 200 banks signed up, right? So they're going to keep doing that. And then eventually, once we get regulations, they're going to start making announcements. Hey, me and Bank of America, we're going to do this for these accounts in El Salvador and Mexico and Brazil. And then the next time, the next bank comes out, we're going to do this and this and that. Or Western Union comes out and says, yeah, we're going to work with, Saudi Arabia and this country with this account using Ripple. All of these things are going to start happening very, very fast, but we need the regulation part of it, right? So again, when you talk about $1,000 XRP, it's very possible, especially when you add all those other elements to it. You could get into some ridiculous price, but let's try to keep it in the realm of possibility. This is not a moon boy channel. Let's just get that straight. This is not a moon boy channel. XRP is my biggest holding. I believe in it wholeheartedly. I've been holding it for a long time, and I told everybody when we were down here, especially in here, you can go back and watch the videos, exactly what I said, and we can see the aftermath, right? Which is exactly what we thought. So, all right. So to get to $100, the percentage has to be 70, 80, $100. It's going to be about 4,000%. That's a big ass. I mean, that's a lot, 4,000%. I just don't really see that right now, unfortunately. Let's see. What about $50? $50 is much more doable. We'll stick with 50. So $50 XRP, that's a 2,000% move. I think that could be in the realm of possibility. Now, everything has to go right. You're going to need a Ripple IPO, a Ripple ETF, or XRP ETF. You're going to need regulation. You're going to need, what else? The lawsuit being dropped, right? You need crypto.com to list XRP. I think they're going to list XRP. Basically, you're going to need a lot of stuff to go right to get to $50 if you're going to hit it this cycle. But you're looking at a 2,000% move. No big deal. But in the grand scheme of things, $50, $100 XRP is very easy, right? When you look at the long-term aspect in the future. But I'm talking about, maybe in the next 2 years. Yeah, that's going to be a big one. So, all right, now let's go to the XRP market cap here. And we're going to do the same thing. All right, and we're going to look exactly where that is. And I don't have it on the screen. Let me just do this one more time because I had to update it. And I'll put it right there, and I'm going to come down. You enjoying the video? If you are, hit that like button. I really appreciate that. Let's spread the message. This is not my traditional video, right? So if you're new to the channel, this is not the way I do things. I'm just this is a totally different video that I'm doing today, right? And I'll probably do another video today in terms of price and the actual analysis part of the price, as opposed to the fundamental and price analysis that we're doing, or target analysis. So you can see that, okay, so in order to hit a $50 XRP, so I have to go back because I don't remember exactly where that $50 XRP was. So the $50 XRP was right there. So that's in the middle. Perfect. I put 179. So that's the 1.79, and that gives me an exact target of $51. That's perfect. Perfect. So the 1.79, which is at $51. All right, now we're going to go back to the market cap here, and we're going to play with some numbers. I like doing stuff like this. And let's get rid of that. Because what this does, it expands your thinking, you know, because a lot of people are very narrow-minded, they're closed-minded. You know, XRP, they said XRP will never go above 50, 60, 70 cents, a dollar ever again. It's going to be shot out of the top 10. Remember Crypto Crew University? That guy, he goes, oh yeah, XRP, because it didn't go on a bull run in 2021, now it's probably going to be knocked out of the top 10 in the next 3 years. And then 3 years later, it's freaking battling Ethereum for the number 2 spot, right? So, you know, people like that. I mean, the guy's great. He's very smart, and he probably knows charts, maybe even better than me. But he definitely got that wrong. And not only him, but you had guys like Alessio were saying XRP's bearish, and him and his other friend. And then you had like a lot of the Bitcoin guys, like the Moon. You know, they were all bearish on XRP, and then even the XRP holders that had XRP, the name on their Twitter handles, even said they were bailing on XRP. So it was so much max bearishness here, and that's where we were extremely bullish. So anyway, if I want to get to a $50 XRP, guys, we need a $1.6 trillion market cap. 1.6 trillion. All right. So we're not even, all right. So, well, let's do that in the 500 billion. So, with 500 billion. So if we look at, let's see, where is 500 billion at here? Okay, so that's about 1.414. All right, and the 1.414 price is at $14. Perfect. So in order to get a $500 billion market cap, you're going to need a market cap of $12, $13, $14. All right, to get a $500 billion market cap. Now, in order to get $50 XRP, you're going to need $500 billion market cap, another $500 billion market cap, and another $500 billion market cap. So you're going to need 3, right? So it's 1.5 trillion, right? Or 1.6, right? So right around there. So that's a pretty big number, right? So how can we get to that $1.6 trillion market cap? Because there's 2 different worlds that I'm talking about. There's the tokenization of the bonds, the stocks, the derivatives, and things like that. Tokenized real assets. And then not even that, but we haven't even talked about tokenizing real estate, right? Trading real estate on the blockchain, or doing other things involving financial services like credit and debt, right? Because you have the debt market, well, which really is the bond market, but you know what I mean. So there's a lot of different elements that could be tokenized that we haven't even factored in that could totally revolutionize the price. But that's 2 different worlds. So one world is basically what we are in today, right? The current market, the current state of the market, not tomorrow's market, but today's market. This cycle, the one we're in right now. So this cycle, the one we're in right now, says, yeah, maybe about a 10, a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, $12 XRP, maybe $15 XRP. And if it really wants a grand slam, a 1618 log scale fib target of $27. So that's all we're talking about. And that is what? That is retail, and that is a little bit of institutional money, or actually maybe a lot of it. And then you also have the XRP ETF as well. That would also factor into the price. Now, in order to get a $50 XRP, you're going to start to need regulation. Because retail can't do it itself, right? You're going to need a lot more stuff. Just like how to get to $1,000 XRP. Yes, it is possible, but it can't be possible today or tomorrow. What needs to happen is, again, the bond market, the stock market, the derivative, those things need to be tokenized. And let's just start with the stock market. Let's just start with the S&P 500. Take the S&P 500 and tokenize it, right? That will be a start to allow the price to start to transform into those higher numbers based on all the volume and the liquidity running through the ledgers, right? And cross chains and side chains and whatever, so there's a lot to factor in. But as far as getting to that price soon, I don't think it's possible. Unless, of course, Ripple comes out and makes a big announcement. Hey, we're doing this and this and this with Bank of America or Wells Fargo or the Federal Reserve or the Treasury, or we're going to work with the NASDAQ, and we're going to, there's something has to big to happen in order for that to happen. So, but what do we have to look forward in the meantime? Well, we have the XRP ETF. That's a big thing to look for. And that ETF, because it's all about levels, right? So if you look at, let's take everything off the screen here, and then watch this. So you have, this is your mid level, right? Your accumulation level. This is your all-time high level, right? That's level 2. And then you get to level 5 and up to 10. That's a doable level. Between $5 and $10, we could do that today. We could do that right now. We could do that this cycle. That is obtainable. But in order to get to like beyond $30, that's going to require different money. That's going to require another level of money. We go up to, $26, $27 would probably be the cap. The most extreme with partial regulation, with an ETF, we can get to that number, but it's really, really going to be difficult. All right, now when you're talking about $50 up to $100 XRP, that's a whole nother level, right? And again, it's going to require different money. It's going to require not just institutional money, but it's going to, there's a lot more to it, right? And then of course going up to $500 and $1,000, and then eventually $10,000. This is a long-term investment, right? If you look at XRP, look how small the chart is. That's all the chart is, just that right there, right? All right, now look at this. Now I go to SPX, and we look at that chart, right? And look how massive it is, right? So Ripple is from here to here, right? That's how big it is, right? But look at the SPX. Look how freaking much this goes back. This goes back a long time, right? So back to the 1800s. Imagine waking up in 1870. This was actually the lowest point in the stock market history. So it's January 1st, 1877, and Grandpa buys 10,000 shares of a stock and keeps it in the family for decades, for the last century, right? I mean, you'd be pretty rich. But look how massive this chart is. It's insane, right? So that just tells you how early we are in the grand scheme of things. Oh, it's too late. Bitcoin hit 100,000. Yeah, it's too late for Bitcoin, right? Oh, it's too late. XRP's already at $3. No, it's not, right? So we're still very, very, very early. The reason why it's taking longer than it should is because you have the central banks fighting for the new financial system. They realize that they have to reset the system. They have to transition us from the old central banking fiat currency to a central bank digital currency, right? But Trump doesn't want that to happen. Now that Trump's president, now they're not cutting rates anymore. See how more hawkish they got now that Trump's president? You see how they changed all of a sudden, right? So there's a lot of economic factors that also go into the price. The price is not just a black and white subject. There's so many things that go into price. It's impossible for any one person to totally wrap it into one package for you, right? But the main thing you have to ask yourself, let's go back to XRP here, or actually, even better, look at this. If we go to total, let's see where exactly we are right now. So the total market cap is only a $3 trillion market cap. Now, in order for Ripple or XRP to hit a $50 target, you're going to need basically half of the total market cap, right? Which is $3 trillion. Half of that is 1.5 trillion. That's what is needed for XRP to hit that crazy valuation, right? But if the total market cap only goes to 5 trillion, which I think it could go to 10 trillion, we'll say 10 trillion, right? Because actually, let's take our Fibonacci level here and we'll go down. So a $10 trillion market cap, I'll say the 1.79 to be a little bit conservative. That's about an $8.8 trillion market cap. And that makes sense, right? So if the total can hit the 1.79, all right, now let's go back to XRP for a minute. And we can see the 1.79, I thought it was on here, maybe it's not, is actually, let's get rid of all that. Okay, the 1.79, there you go, $45 XRP. So if the total market cap can hit a 1.79, which is a $8 trillion, $10 trillion market cap, which is, I think, is extremely acceptable, then why can't XRP hit also a 1.79, which is $45, $50? Now, I just said it's going to be very, 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 very hard, and it's probably not going to be even likely. It's going to be more likely that XRP falls somewhere between $8, $9, $10, $11, $12. And if it really wants to hit a grand slam, up to $27, right? But to hit that $50 level, that's going to take a whole nother level of something, whether it be tokenization or some type of deal that we don't know about, or just institutional money, or maybe the XRP ETF, right? Could, if it has a big, because the Bitcoin ETF, beat expectations. The Ethereum ETF was very lackluster, didn't do well, right? But the XRP ETF, maybe that one will do better than both of them and blow all of our expectations. We just don't know completely right now. But here's the thing. All of the things that we're talking about all means what? Upside. So everything we're talking about is a world where XRP is above the all-time high. But we're not even there yet. We're not even above the all-time high yet. That's how crazy it is, right? So if we look at it side by side here, right? And actually, let's go to the 2-week chart. And then we'll go to the 2-week chart for the total, right? So here's both of them together, right? So, because also the problem is we already have 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But if we want 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we need an extension in that 5th wave. So we're already getting close to that area. So, but yeah, eventually maybe we have to flag out a lot more, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we flag out for an ABC that takes up to 6 months or even longer. And then we can start working our way up to that 5 trillion plus, between 5 and $10 trillion, right? So, but yeah, I think this is very exciting. And let me go back over here. Let's take that off and let's look at this here. So let's zoom in a little bit. And then also, you could see how bullish this is, right? This is very bullish. Look at the 3-way pullback, extremely bullish. So we have a 1, 2, right? This looks like a 1, 2, 3, and then a 4, and then let's go up and get 5. I mean, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. All right. So, where could that land us in the meantime? Well, if we take a trend-based fib extension, we're looking at $6 trillion, guys. So a $6 trillion market cap could put XRP, right? Let's look at the percentage. Let's look at the dominance now. So if we look at the dominance, XRP is approximately 4.6%, right? So we'll just say, I would say more like 5. So XRP is literally only 4.6% of the entire $3 trillion market cap, right? So if XRP goes, or if the total market cap gets up to that $6 trillion market cap, what then would be 5%? That would put it around 300 billion or so, $300 billion market cap. All right. So a $300 billion market cap would be at what price? And this is if the market, if the percentages doesn't do anything, right? So we're at 150. So we'll just double from there. So that's about a $6 XRP, right around there. Between $5 and $7 XRP, right? So, but that's if we're only still at a 5% dominance level, because if you look at XRP.D, you can see that we're only in a wave 4, right? So we have a 1, 2, 3, and then we have an expanded flat for a wave 4. This thing's going to shoot up much higher. So if we take that same calculation, right, and we look at, let's see, how would we do this? There's a couple different ways we can measure this, but essentially, just to save us on time, and I've already done the measurements, it's going to get us to around 12%, right? It's going to be between, let's say 10% to 12%, up to 17%, right? So between 10 and 17%, all right? So if you're looking at that from a $6 to $10 trillion, so if you take, and if we average that out, so it could be 10 to 17. We'll say we'll do conservative. We'll say 10%. So if you take 10% of 10 trillion, right, and that would give us a trillion, right? That would give us $1 trillion. Okay, so if we go to the XRP market cap, all right, and then we go up to 1 trillion. Well, let's put our fib levels on first. Isn't this fun? Let me know if you guys like these kind of videos. That gets us, look at that, right at the 1618, the 1.21, the 1.2, or I'm sorry, the 1.702. So that's on log scale. So that's actually, this is very, very interesting, guys. Now we'll watch this. I'm going to go back to XRP USD, right? And I'm going to take that same exact scale, which is 1618 to 1702. Look at that, $25 to $27 XRP. There you go. I mean, it's pretty clear. Now, does that mean we're going to hit $25, $27, $28? No. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Is it likely? I don't know. That's not for me to decide. That's up for you to decide, right? The way I look at it is long-term. You don't think like, oh, if it doesn't happen tomorrow, it's not going to ever happen. Or if it doesn't happen in the next year, it's never going to happen. Or if it doesn't happen, it should happen during Trump's presidency. Trump has 4 years. So within the 4 years, we should see XRP above $20. That is my opinion. Within 4 years, we should see XRP above $20. Maybe it could even be this year. We just don't know. We have to wait until we go into price discovery. That way we can get a real good sense of where it's going. But realistically, it's more likely conservatively around $8, $9, $10, guys. But if it all depends as well is if we get a mid-cycle correction. Because if we go up, for example, we're going to cross the 1 hour mark on the video. So if you can hit the like button, that would be awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, we go up to a 5, right? and then we sort of flag out all summer, and then we go up and finish, right? Just like how we flagged out here. See, this was a mid-cycle correction. We had one wave up, mid-cycle correction, finish. Same thing here. One wave up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have a mid-cycle correction, right? So we're not even there yet. We still have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have a mid-cycle correction, maybe all summer, and then we go up and finish October, November, December of this year, or even spring of next year, right? So we have that 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, all of that's 3. Then we flag out for a 4. Then we go up and hit 5 for that final push somewhere at the end of this year or the beginning of next year, $25, $26, $27. So that's how it could happen, right? So this is a totally different subject of the one that we were referencing. Well, how can, you said XRP can hit 1,000. Now you're saying $25. No. Listen, watch the whole video, right? It's very important to listen to the whole video. So there's two different worlds here, right? We have the tokenization of the bond, stock, real estate, things like that, right? And if you just take 2% of that, you're looking at a ridiculous XRP price. And it's coming too, by the way. Larry Fink already said it's coming. Regulation, look at Donald Trump Jr. and look at Eric Trump. They already have a decentralized financial called World Liberty Financial. And that is a DeFi, right? Because it's all going to be about DeFi, right? Cut out the fat, cut out the central bank, cut out the middleman. Remember Andrew Jackson, right? The bankers are a bunch of vipers and thieves, and that is to this day, right? Look at what Trump had to go through with his bankruptcy. He had to battle the banks. He knows all about how vicious they are. That's why it's taken this long. That's why we've gotten sued. That's why that's why crypto's kind of, left like hanging, like, hey, when are we going to get regulation? That's why Gary Gensler didn't regulate. That's why Gary Gensler didn't give any clarity. There was no clarity because they didn't want clarity, because they didn't want companies making any moves because they would get sued, right? And the reason why is because the banks need time. They're buying time. Basically, Gary Gensler is a banker boy, Goldman Sachs banker boy, and he was instructed to delay. Why? To buy the banks time. Why do the banks need time? For their CBDC, for their presidential pick, which didn't work out. So now they're scrambling, trying to figure out what to do, right? So this is all part of the plan, in my opinion, and this is the beginning of XRP's price journey, because you don't go 7 years, guys. Look at this. This is the biggest base in crypto history, right? Boom, 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 boom. This is a solid 7-year base, right? And look at all those years down there, right? This is working out all of the structure. You don't do that just to go back down to $2, just to go back down to $1. No. This thing's going to go way higher, in my opinion. This is not financial advice. I could be totally wrong, but that's my belief, right? And all right, so basically that's the whole video. As far as the price on the small time frames, I'm still looking at this as an expanded flat ABC, right? So we have a 1, we have a 2, right? We have a 3, we have a 4, and now we're holding support here. I want to go up and see a 5. It actually looks pretty bullish. So let's zoom in here. If we look at the 8-hour or the 4-hour chart, nothing's changed, right? That's why I took the time to do this video a little bit differently today. Nothing's really changed. We're kind of like maybe in a little bit of a triangle or ascending triangle, but I wouldn't even say that. I would just say we're ranging. We're going sideways. That's exactly what we wanted to do, right? We're building a base. That's exactly like if I was a doctor and I was to prescribe a medication to XRP, right? Remember when we had the big crash? What did I say? I said the best medicine for XRP is a quick bounce up, and then drizzle down, maybe even retesting the lows, but ultimately going sideways. Get away from the scene of the crime, reset the oscillator, reset the momentum, and that way we can continue higher, because this looks to me very bullish, right? We have a an expanded flat here. We have a major wick, a liquidity grab. We're building a base, so it's all about, well, eventually we're gonna start to push up and break out. Now, could it be bearish in the short term? Yes. How? Because this could be like a bear flag. Boom, we go down, and then we start to go down like that. So it's like an ABC, ABC. Then we kind of level out, and then we continue higher, something like that, right? Or if we push up, then we could push down later on and kind of be like maybe like a W pattern or something. So regardless if we go up or go down in this range, it doesn't really matter. We can even come all the way back down to $2 and retest this wick down here and still be very bullish. So we got plenty of wiggle room, and that's pretty much it. Now when we look at other coins like ADA, whoa, look at ADA. It looks actually really good right now. You know, I was looking at this could be an ABC, or this could go up and hit the high here. But essentially ADA, you know, you got this big fat 3-wave pullback here, and you got a 1-2. Maybe this can get going. I think we're going to see some good solid price action in the later half of February. So tomorrow's what, the 14th? Valentine's Day. Are we going to get a bloody Valentine Day massacre? Or is it going to be like, I don't know, like, you know, a bunch of red flowers, or is it going to be some green flowers, right? I don't know. We'll see. But I think ultimately the price is higher. So we could see this could be like a 1 and an A and then a B and then a C. It could be like some kind of flat to retest the lows here. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to hunt for liquidity. They go up, they take the high, they come back down, they take the low. They're basically working both sides, right? They're frustrating the bears, they're frustrating the bulls. They're trying to extract money from me and you. And the best way they do that is to go test certain levels. They go up here and test the level. They get everybody long, then they come back down here and they test the level. They get everybody short, then they come back here, and they basically take your money there, take your money there, and then basically it got all of this money, and then it can take it up or down or however they want to play it. I think eventually up because of the massive impulse here and the massive 3-way pullback, just like how we were looking at total, right? So I'm not going to get into all the charts for time purposes, but essentially, you know, they're all pretty much building a base in here. Keep your eye out for Trump. It looks a little bit interesting. Looks like a little 3-wave. Maybe we get 3 down and then a bigger move up. We'll see. Theta, real quick. Yeah, it's still just chilling here. Basically, just expect sideways. Don't expect anything crazy until we talk about it. Monero, what's Monero doing? So Monero's it's stuck in here a little bit. So maybe we got to come down and retest some of the lower areas. You know, maybe get a higher low here. Litecoin still looks pretty good. You know, if you look at Litecoin, guys, so here's a good way to measure strength. If you look at Litecoin and you take a Fibonacci level, look where it is on the Fibonacci level. We are literally right between the 702 and the 786. Look how strong that is. Okay, now compare that to Chainlink, right? Compare that to Chainlink, and we'll do the same thing. Well, guess what? Litecoin's way up here. Chainlink's way down here. How come? Is Chainlink worse? Or is Litecoin better than Chainlink? No, but why is it? Well, the price structure is more bullish right now. All right, let's look at XLM for a minute. If we look at XLM, same thing. XRP or Litecoin's up here, XLM's down here, right? Let's look at Algo. Look at Algo. Algo's way down here. So everything is pretty much down here, but Litecoin is, for some reason, way up there. That's interesting to me, right? And we've talked about Litecoin a lot on this show. I've even made Litecoin only videos, right? It takes a lot for me to make an only video. By the way, this is an XRP only video. I'm just kind of adding a little bit to the end here in case people were wondering. But essentially, Litecoin in a nutshell is in a reaccumulation structure. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. You got a 1, you got a 2, and then you got a 1, 2, 3. This looks like a 1. This could be a 1, 2, 1, 2, or this could be a 1, 2, right? And now we're about to shoot up for the third wave. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here for Litecoin. But what about Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin doing? I didn't really talk about it yesterday. I thought I did. Bitcoin, it's still ranging, we got this range here. I do like, we have a three-way move. Boom, boom, boom. And we're at the bottom. So ideally, we should hold, and ideally, we should go up for a retrace. Now, whether that's 3 waves or 5 waves, we'll find out. If we look a little bit closer, yeah, everything looks still okay. We had this 3-wave move down. We had this big retracement, and now we're kind of flagging out in here. So let's see if we can pop the high. That would be 3 down. We would get 3 up. Maybe we get 3 down later, and then we can go, right? It'd be a double 3 or something to that effect. You can see H-bar also way down here. They all have the 3-wave shape, though. They're all, to me, very bullish. But Litecoin, interesting. All right, so real quick, back to XRP. XRP is, most of them are kind of down here. XRP is like more to the upside, actually. So if we do the same thing from the same level, you could see XRP is also in that 702,618 area, right? So yeah, I think the next target, well, this is on log scale though, but essentially the next target would be around that 350, 360 area up to that $4 and eventually $5 area. So we'll see how that works. But anyways, if you guys like that video, if you guys think XRP can hit $1,000, I'm not saying today or tomorrow or this year or next year. I'm saying eventually. People say, no, it can never, ever, ever happen, because that would mean XRP would have to be a $20 trillion market cap. Well, in order to get a $20 trillion market cap, you only need 2% of all the stocks and bonds and derivatives and things like that to be tokenized on the XRP ledger. And the biggest thing is going to be distributed ledger technology, right? Which is Ripple's forefront, right? Being able to have cross-chain, multi-chains, right? So it's not going to just circulate through one chain. It'll circulate through the XRP ledger, right? Because there's going to be there's already a lot of tokenized assets, right? That's what meme coins are all about. Meme coins are a cute, funny way to show your average real estate guy that, hey, I could take a piece of art like an NFT, or I could take, a meme and tokenize it and I can trade it. Well, what's from stopping me from doing that with advertising or for example, real estate or, whatever, right? A bond or a stock, basically making everything tokenized. And that way you can trade it on one ledger or many different ledgers, right? So again, in order to get $1,000 XRP, you need a $20 trillion market cap. Now, some people can say, well, yeah, you're not going to have it. There's no way that can happen. And then you're going to have the other guy who say, no, you don't need a $20 trillion market cap because market cap's not relevant. But then you have the other guy who's somewhere in the middle, kind of like myself, who say, well, yeah, you're still going to have a ridiculous high market cap. But at the same time, it is also possible to have that market cap because you don't need that much to get it to that price. Basically, you need a little tiny bit to get it to that extreme price, right? So if we look at the 2-week chart, right, and I pull this down, and then I go to log scale, you can see, right, we'll say $700 because that's the closest one. But in order to get to that $700 price, you're going to need at least $15 trillion, right? So I think it's very possible it's going to be very difficult. Now, retail alone can't do it. Institutional money, probably not. Like your average investor, in order to get the price above 100, 500, 1,000, it's not going to take an investor. It's going to take liquidity. And that liquidity is going to come from tokenized assets. And that's basically what it's all about. Now, how long is that going to take? When's that going to happen? That's all debatable. I don't know. But I think it will eventually happen. Again, the CEO of BlackRock already confirmed it. Trump already is on board. guys, this is going to happen. It's just going to take time, but it will happen. And how fast is the price going to go up from there? I mean, we'll see. But as far as this cycle, then that's a totally different world, right? Now, as far as this cycle is concerned, I'm thinking like $8, $9, $10, you know? And if we can get a mid-cycle correction from there, then maybe we can shoot up to $20 to $27, right? So that's going to be the big thing. Do we get a mid-cycle correction? And to me, it's probably possible, because when you look at something like Filecoin is so down in the dumps. In order for Filecoin to break out into price discovery, it first has to get up here, flag out, go up, get to the retrace, flag out again, then get back. It's going to take forever for Filecoin to get back up to here, right? So let alone go into price discovery. So Filecoin needs time. It needs time, unless it's going to die. We don't know, right? Or it could shoot up very fast, flag out, and then pop the high. It can do it quickly, but realistically, it's going to take time. So that would mean that you would need a mid-cycle correction in order to fix the price. And if we got a mid-cycle correction, then that could open the door for a much higher XRP price, maybe $20, $27. I don't know. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's definitely possible. What I'm looking for is price discovery, and then we can start talking stuff like that. But anyway, that'll do it for this video. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, and let me know in the comment, what do you think? And remember, this is not financial advice, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.